RKC is the perfect training ground for a race driver. He learned his trade in a kart on this circuit, and after 10 years of experience and victories in karting, he's moved on to single-seaters. He's Jean-Eric Vergne. Currently, he's leading the championship in his first season of Formula Campus, a young driver full of talent but also kind enough to lend us his kart. But just what is it, this kart?
C'est un châssis 125 cm3.
It's a 125cc engine on a 125 BD chassis from Kart, a French manufacturer. It's an Italian Vortex engine which develops about 42 horsepower, joined to a 6-speed gearbox. It has disc brakes, there's one on the rear on the axle, two at the front.
Les freins, c'est des freins à disque. On a un disque à l'arrière qui se trouve sur l'axe et deux freins à l'avant.
We asked him, what championship can you enter with this kart? And he said, well, ICC, that's the World Championship. It's sort of the main class, along with Elite, or KF1 as it's now known. The new Super ICC class is called KZ1, so you can do the World Championship and the European Championship, and of course the French Championship in the KZ2 class. Well, presented with a kart like this, Jessica decided not to come alone. She brought with her her driving coach and Motors TV's in-house driver, Mathieu Zangarelli. The track here is 1,200 metres long and 9 metres wide, and it's rare in that can it be raced in both directions. It also has an F1-style timing system. The lap record belongs to Jean-Eric, just over 48 seconds. Well, that's the formalities dealt with. Now, on to the test. With Jean-Eric being 1.80 meter tall and Jessica just 1.60 meter, the kart first needs to be adapted so she fits in it. She asks how you start it, and he explains the clutch is just for first gear. You only use it to get going. D-clutch, move into first, apply the power, release it gently, and off you go. Then you can forget about the clutch. So she says, okay, yeah, use the clutch to start, then forget it, just like an F1 car, just use the clutch to start. Out on the track, this is a mega little kart, and it's nothing like the classic two-stroke. The gearbox and the brakes take a bit of getting used to. Oh, and there's a first spin. There's no starter motor, but they quickly came to help her out. And so Jessica said a big thank you to Francois. Off she went again. She says it's great fun, but so violent that she's not really strong enough for it. And she doesn't think she'll be beating Jean-Eric's lap record. After half an hour, a break and a chance to ask Mathieu for some advice. From what I've seen, Mathieu says, I think you need to take a bit less speed into the corners, concentrate on braking later and harder on the right line. Later and much harder. And after some tips from a proper driver, Jessica is back out on the track. She's a bit tired, though she concentrates on braking later and getting the car better positioned going into the corners to come out quicker. Well, you're even managing not to stall, Mathieu says. Well, she hasn't quite mastered it and still has a long way to go, but even so, she didn't want to give the kart back to Jean-Eric. She says it's a great little toy.